Hey there, YouTube. How the fuck are you guys doing? Well, I haven't been on here in a month, so I figured I'd do episode 26 of the podcast. We'll see if anybody comes on today. It's obviously July 4th weekend. We're out here living the dream, out here just getting it. It's hotter than fucking Ohio right now. Like, I think it's shit. What am I gonna say? I think it's fucking 107 or some shit outside. It's fucking brutal. I can tell you that. Jesus Christ. This morning I went out and washed two dump trucks because these things are just looking absolutely filthy. Yo, what's up, Dominique? How you doing on this July 4th weekend? I am just here at the shop doing, you know, typical Justin stuff, fixing every goddamn motherfucking thing. you know, Washing trucks. It's 55 there. I'd love it to be 55 here. It's 100 fucking 7. You know what I'm saying? You're just out there just fucking getting I mean, you're just getting burnt up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm burnt the fuck up. Dominique, I am coming out to in the general Seattle area. So I will I'll get you a couple days before. Maybe I can go ride around in the maybe I can go ride around in the new ride, you know, see how you like your W900. We'll be there for a week, so maybe you can take us to a fucking good restaurant, you know? I just want to see how your transfer thing works, Dominique. I want to try that out. Like, I'm not doing any transfer races because I am fat. Well, I will tell you, I used to be fat. Like, I went from 290 down, and I'm down to 216 pounds right now. Probably today I'm down to 212 because I've drank four Arnold Palmer fucking lemonades. And let me tell you, okay, I haven't peed once today. That's kind of where we're at. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Whew, God damn, it's fucking brutal. Luckily, I got my new office, so we're what can I say? We're fucking yeah, no, I'm looking skinny. You know what I'm saying? I'm lean, mean, I'm back down to fighting weight, really, is what my wife tells me. That is true. Justin Dow is 10 months sober, so that's a positive. Nope. The only tool that I bought, I did buy the new 3/8, what do you call that? Like the 3/8, 14.4, the bigger, like the 100 and fucking 100 and what is that? Like 400 foot-pounds of torque or whatever the new one is. That's all I bought. They only had it in red, and I'm waiting for a blue one, powdered blue. So whenever that gets here, I'll have two because you can never have another you can never have too many 14.4 guns. I wish they would make a 14.4 gun with a half-inch anvil just because it would just be a little bit better, especially now that they have the big ones. Yeah, the pythons are looking pretty good. I like to get a tan. I do have a rule, if it's over 85, we are in a tank top. That means we go to in a tank top everywhere. Like the golf course, I'm out there rocking a tank top, whatever. What I'm saying, uh, just out there rocking tank tops. Trying to get a tan, because we're not going on vacation this year, because we have no money. You know what I'm saying? Like this year's been a fucking absolute struggle on fucking what I would call turning any bit of a profit. Sounds like skin cancer. Well, it is what it is. Uh, you know, it is kind of what it is. I mean, I'd rather die of skin cancer than Alzheimer's. Uh, I don't know if a lot of you guys follow me on Facebook, but my dad finally passed away June 17th at like 5:12 in the afternoon. Um, so the Alzheimer's finally got to him. I'm really, you know, uh, without my mother or my dad, um, this business would not exist. Like they're the ones that believed in me when I got started. More my dad than my mom at first. But you know, like my dad actually paid for my CDL in 2007. He paid for me to go to CDL school and get it. So, my dad's been an integral part in my life and all that stuff. So, what was I going to say? Like, it was weird how it happened. My dad has been on hospice for like the last year. He has a hospice nurse that comes in and sees him and all this stuff. And Brittany was the one that gets all the phone calls because if you guys know me, I don't answer the phone ever. Uh, I just don't have time to answer it. But anyway, so I think Monday the 15th, they called and said, hey, Justin, your dad, you know what I'm saying? We give him 48 hours. And this girl was like, I'm just going to tell you the story. I couldn't believe how fucking accurate they were. So I said, oh shit. So I ran up there and I spent Monday with him and he had this girl named Jennifer, huge it was this black lady, and her whole job is that she's a nurse and she goes around and she spends the last however many days that they determine that how many like for people in their final death. Okay, like she takes care of them. It's hospice, you know what I'm saying? They give them drugs, so they don't feel any pain and all that stuff. But this girl, Jennifer, was awesome. She was a black chick. I've never seen uh she was cool as shit, but she ate chicken wings all 3 days that I was there for lunch. And I've never seen a chicken wing get cleaned as much as these 20 chicken wings per day. Like there was, I mean, the dog would have been like, I don't think a dog could get them that clean. But anyway, so Monday, she's like, "Hey, it's probably gonna be a day or so. Like, he's still, kind of breathing and all that stuff." So I was like, "Okay." So Tuesday, I went up and she said, "It's not gonna be today." You know what I'm saying? He's doing pretty well. It'll probably be within 2 days. I said, "Okay." So Wednesday, when she got there at 8 o'clock in the morning, like at 8:05, she called and said, "Hey, you need to get up here. Today's gonna be the day." So I said, "All right, how long do I got?" She said, "You got a couple hours, but all right." So I finished up what I had to do here at the shop. I went up there at 10 o'clock and Jennifer was like, "Hey, Justin, he's going to die before I leave here today at 8 o'clock." And I said, "Really?" And she goes, "Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's going to happen today." She's like, he's modeling and it's just part of the death process, which I learned a lot about the death process, which was pretty cool. I don't know anything about it, but it was interesting to learn. So I called my mother and I called my brother and I said, "Hey, if you want to come up and say your final goodbyes, this is it." You know what I'm saying? Like Jennifer says, today is going to be the day. I don't know what time, I don't know how long we got. Today's the day. So I determined that I was going to stay till the bitter end. Like if it happened at midnight, I was staying the whole time. I didn't want him to die without a family member there and, just be with some hospice nurse. I didn't think that that was right. So I said, "All right, I'm gonna stay." So then my mom came up and what I'm saying, my mom's pretty cool. She was shooting the shit, and Jennifer's like, "Man," she's like, "They always die during dinner." You know what I'm saying? Like, and then we have to have, they're carrying them out during dinner and all this shit, but it'll be today. So I was like, oh, I just sat there and I called Brittany. I said, "Hey, Brittany," it was like 4:45. I said, "Hey, get the kids. If Luca, Enzo went up and said his goodbyes earlier in the day. Luca said he didn't want to go. Then all of a sudden he did want to come. So I said, "Hey, go get me some dinner. And when you guys get up here, it'll be whatever." So about, I don't know, 5:11, like me and Jennifer were sitting there and like it was just quiet in the room, and my dad took these like three short breaths. Like it was a different noise that I've heard in the last 3 days that I've been there on his breathing. And I just looked over at Jennifer and I said, "Hey, that's different." And she jumped up right away and grabbed her stethoscope and she ran over there and got on the edge of the bed and she put her little thing on his like his lungs. And then she just turned around and said, "It's happening." I said, "Okay." So I just text my mom and Brittany and said, "Hey, it's happening." And she said, "Okay, what time?" Then all of a sudden she's like, "Hey, what time is it?" I was like, "It's 5:12." She's like, "Okay." He stopped breathing. We have to wait two full minutes. I was like, "What the hell? What?" So we had to sit there and wait 2 full minutes. And then she just said, after the 2 full minutes, she said, "That's it. He's gone." And then she left the room, and you know what I'm saying? That was it. Like she went out there, we started calling everybody. We had to tell the nursing home nurse that he died at 5:12, and they had to send their person in there. We called the doctor. This guy, he never even came. She just said, "Hey, he's dead at 5:12." Get all that stuff done, and then that was it. It was really weird. But Brittany was like right at the end of the exit with Luca. So I said, just bring him over here. They won't know. So Luca said, bye, Grandpa, and all that stuff. I had a couple of minutes with my dad, but that was really it. So I learned a lot about the death process during this whole thing. It's like kind of nothing to be scared about. Really, just what I'm saying? It's like he like Monday when we were up there, he was still communicative. Tuesday, there was no talking. Wednesday, there was nothing. There was like no response. You could touch him, nothing happened. And it was just weird. No, um, I don't know. I've never really seen my dad's will. I kind of have an idea of what it's going to be. But you know what I'm saying? Like a year ago, we paid for the funeral. We did all that stuff. So all that was done. He, there was really all of the big planning stuff has been finished for a while. So, whatever money he has left, I'm just glad that we didn't run out of money. That was a good thing. But, you know, it was it. And I think my dad has a couple 100,000 left. So I'm sure that goes in a trust for me and my brother. I don't know how it all works out. I'm sure that somebody will eventually read me the will. I don't know. I'm the executor of the will. I've never read it. I really don't know what to do. We'll see what happens. But other than that, um, that was it. And you know, I really haven't had a lot of time to like grieve over it because my employees, I didn't want them to know what's going on. I just what I'm saying? I still had to function the business, and that just proves to you, like when people say they're at your level, they're really not. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a bunch of stuff to do. Like at 7 o'clock after they came and picked my dad up, I had to come down here and fix a tarp that we fucking knocked off the fucking shit. And put that back on so the person could work the next day. And it's like I guess people don't really see a lot about that. Like when you own a business, like I guess they don't really know all that it kind of happens like that. But you know, and then the next day, we tore up I think 2 tires, and it's just like Jesus Christ, I can't get any break from anything. Yeah, no rest for the week. I mean, it's like, and I wonder how many other people would watch your dad die after they drag his body out of there in the body bag and take him to the funeral home. You would just get in your car, come down here, and fucking fix a goddamn dump truck. I mean, how many people would really do that? And you know what I'm saying? Not make any mistakes. I don't know a lot of people. I can tell you, none of my employees would. I mean, Jesus Christ, them guys have to be off if they get a hangnail. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was Eric Davis. Overtime trucking. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure. I thought for sure we were going to get in an accident that day, but that didn't happen. We just knocked the tarps off. And then they wonder why I'm just kind of aggravated the whole time. Oh, shit. I forgot to take this is the second day I haven't taken my medicine. Damn it. I got to take my anti aggravation pills, as I call them. But anyway, that's what I've got going on. And that, we're just out here living the dream, fixing all this shit. No, I'm still on the meds. I just had to take them. I forgot to take them yesterday, and then I almost forgot to take them today. I brought them down here to the shop because it's just easier to do them down here because I always leave in the morning. So, but then I come here and I get sidetracked. Like this morning, I wanted to get these trucks washed before it got just absolutely too fucking hot. But, it didn't. You can tell when you don't take your Prozac. I didn't take mine Friday. I didn't take mine Thursday. I think I forgot. And my fuse was ultra short, ultra short. No, I don't need any money right now. I mean, I could use always, I wish like $1 million would just fall out of the sky and hit me in the face, but I'm just not that lucky. Let's see what else. We've been working on a bunch of different stuff. Yeah. My employees asked me if I was on different medication or if I forgot to take my medication because I was kind of short fuse. And I said, yeah, fuck. I forgot to take it, you know. But some of them understand, some of them don't. How many trucks am I running right now? 10 plus 28. In charge of 28 right now. 28, 29. By the end of the year, we'll have 33, which is probably too many. Business is going okay. If we could just get the people in here and stay. Here's the problem that we had. This year, we kind of started off where we had no Saturdays. So from like December till the beginning of June, we had no Saturdays. Okay. And then all of a sudden, we started working every Saturday. And boy, the bitching and moaning started out right away. And we had a couple guys quit because I'm not putting up with, if you're not going to work here on Saturday, I'm just going to find somebody that will. I don't care if you have your kids, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have my kids, but I'm here every Saturday. Uh, you know, Having your kids for the weekend is no excuse not to come in and work from 6 to 2. I just don't understand it. I'm not into that excuse. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Uh, I'm just not going to put up with it. I mean, this is what we have to do. It's every weekend. Well, I can't even find a mechanic to work here full time. There is none of those people out there. And I was willing to pay good money. Can't find one of those. So I pretty much have to manage the day to day. And then also, like people don't I have a driver supervisor that Marquise. I probably need to put more, you know what I'm saying? I need to put I need to put more on him to get some of the employee stuff out of my process, but it's too much. What's good money for a mechanic? Like $40 an hour. If you had skills and could fix all this stuff, I was willing to pay $40. $40 an hour. We can't find anybody to do that. You know? Does that make any sense? We can't find anybody. See, I don't want to train anybody. I don't want to train anybody. I want somebody to come in here that knows how to be a mechanic. I don't want to fucking babysit you. You know what I'm saying? You just need to fucking fix all this shit. I don't want to be bothered with it. You know, when the tarps break, come down here and fix. You know, yeah. I wish I could find a guy. I just can't find one. No, I smoke Monte Crisco whites. Actually, if he wants to, what I'm saying, do me a favor, if you could send me a couple boxes of Monte Crisco whites. I like Toros or something else. I forget what they are. Hold on here. If anybody wants to be cool and send me some of these, yeah, I like these. Here, you know what I'm saying? You want to send me a couple of boxes of these, I like them. Or these Rothschilds, I like those. You know, I need to order some more, but I don't have enough money to order them, so I'm out of money. Yeah, I mean, we were gonna pay $40 an hour. I mean, you'd have to work the weekends, but you'd be off during the week, you know? Yeah, that's what I like. These are pretty good. I bought these just because they were a lot cheaper, you know. Well, some people are better than others, you know what I'm saying? I had to fix a lot of shit. It's hard to fix all of it and dispatch and then remember where everybody is. Like, I don't think a lot of people understand how hard that really is. Like, it's a lot. And then, like, if I had to hire a manager or hire a person to do the dispatching takes 6 or 8 months before you really understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and have the right, bullshit to get the customers to give you jobs when they really don't have jobs. I mean, there's a lot of shit. You don't just show up and fucking you know, just uh understand how to fix all this stuff. What's up there, Larry Bird? That is true. Being a mechanic is hard work. No, no, I'm not retired with 28 trucks. No. Think about it. We own 28, but we've only really been working about 22. You know what I'm saying? Because we haven't had drivers. Now, next week we had three start last week. We're gonna have three start next week, and then the following week we probably need to get three more, and the following week we need to get three more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's we need to get some more night shift people in here. We have a lot of night shift work. We just nobody will work night shift. I don't understand why. It's the easiest shift to work, you know? And like, we're working a mile from the shop. Like, it literally takes you 30, probably 2 minutes to drive to the job site on night shift. I don't understand. I don't understand it and can't get anybody in here. Everybody wants social media jobs. Well, social media jobs aren't for everybody. You know, social media jobs are not, they're just not, that takes a lot. That takes a lot of work to even do that. Takes a lot of time. If I was a girl, I'd be on OnlyFans in less than 4 minutes. I can tell you that right now. Like, fuck working that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, there's a lot of shit. Thank you, Ron. I'll buy some cigars. It takes a ton of time, Dominique. I don't think people realize how much time you have to put into social media to make it work and how long you have to invest before it finally pays off. And then also, You have to have a personality to be on social media. Not everybody has a personal, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody has a personality to be on social media. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't, like you have to, like you have to have some charisma. You have to have something that people want to watch, like, and then you have to not get stuck in a rut and change it up and then know what works. It's a fucking shit ton of work. I don't have enough time. I wanted to dedicate more time to social media because I think I'd be good at it. I just want somebody to film everything that I do, you know? It'd be a lot better. If I could get a guy just to film it, fuck, you know? Because if you have somebody filming the content, it's easy for them to, it's easy to do that because you're just fucking just constantly doing all that shit. Yeah, I don't have a guy to help. I don't care if they're expensive. The social media would pay for it if they did their job, if they worked all the time. No, I don't need a camera girl. I need a I would need a I don't think my wife would like a camera girl, to be honest with you. $800 minimum for the day? God, that seems that's super expensive. I could understand maybe 300 bucks. That's a lot to fucking do whatever. Phil, that's what I do. I need a Discovery Channel show. I don't even know if Discovery Channel would work. I feel like it would have to be shit. I would say that it would have to be something else, like not that, but something completely, like I don't know what kind of channel. I don't even know what people watch anymore. Damn, Dominique, that seems expensive. $800 a day for a camera guy. Jesus Christ, they better edit the shit because I don't want to fuck with it. You know? Yeah, we work for Concosing. Not the main Concosing. I'm working for a different Concosing. Yeah, $800 a day. That's more than a driver makes. Jesus Christ. Damn. Just to edit it is more additional? That seems fucking outrageous. That's outrageous. You know? Holy shit. That's crazy. I mean, goddamn, for $800 a day, I'm about ready just to start filming people. Fuck. It would be like OCC. That would be exactly what it would be like here. It just me screaming. You know what I'm saying? Just losing my fucking mind every day. People would like it, you know what I'm saying? But they would just be losing their fucking mind, you know? This has been the worst year as far as like making money. I don't understand what happened. Fuel prices got out of control, insurance is out of control, and we haven't had enough people. Eric, the car guy, I actually went by where his shop was, where his little filming studio, like where he used to have that little thing. Uh, Eric, the car guy, and it's now turned into it's just a truck lot. And let me tell you, it has got more Freightliner Cascadias in it and Volvas than I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the Tiger Woods clubs anymore. I'm swinging some Mira. What am I swinging? I'm swinging my Miras. I got what are they like? I think the MC 700s or something like that, or the I got the newest Miras. I shot 40 Thursday night and absolutely destroyed the guy I played. I got 11 and a half out of the possible 12 points. 11 and a half. I mean, I absolutely beat the brakes off this motherfucker. I almost shot 39, which I haven't been in the 30s in a while, but I almost shot 39. I was like, God damn it. I hit the ball so well. I didn't lose. I lost one. I know. Yeah, I lost one ball. I flailed one in on the par five, but I still made. I think I only got a six there, so I would have got a par because I hit my recovery. Five wood was to just right off the green. I mean, I smoked it from 256, hit the old five wooder. You know what I'm saying? Like as soon as I hit it, Zach was like, "Uh oh." He's like that. He goes, "Dude, that was smoked." He goes, "I heard it leave." I was like, "Yeah, I was hit pretty well." So that's about the only thing good that happened this week is to shoot 40 at the golf course. Um, since the biggest, let me see how much weight I've lost. I was like 295 at one time. I've lost 77 pounds, is what I've lost. I went from a 3X to a 2X. Now I'm in an extra large shirt. And I went from 42s and I'm back down to I think 38s. My legs, I really lost a lot of weight in my legs. No, I don't have a commercial for my company. All I want is I want people to work here, you know? I just want good employees. I want employees that just come in and just do their job and not tear up everything and just leave me alone. That's what I'm really looking for, but those are really hard to find. Yeah, my kids play well football starts Monday. Uh we just got done with baseball. Um and we're not doing anything this summer. They're what are they doing? Luca did swim lessons, and then that's really it. But we're back into football season. We're trying out for a bunch of different baseball teams. I don't know if we're gonna make a baseball team. I ain't figured it out. Nobody said, "Hey, your kid's gonna play for us." It's just been a lot. Oh, I don't need skin removal surgery. I mean, my skin really wasn't that loose. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have like shit hanging off me. Yeah, well, I started smoking cigars because I just needed something to take the edge off. I mean, like, you don't really smoke a cigar, you just put it in your mouth and blow it out. It's really just about the carrying it around in your mouth, really, is all it is. You know? That's what it seems like to be with me. Oh man, $1 in the trash. That's what it seems like to me, but it is what it is. Just exhausted, you know. Like I said, if anybody wants to help old Justin out, just send me a couple boxes of cigars. That'd be great. If you Google my name, you can find my address. Just send me a couple of Monte Cristo whites. I love them. And hopefully next week we have a good week where we have a lot of trucks out. I mean, I think again by Thursday at 11 o'clock we had everything dispatched. We had everything dispatched for fucking for Monday, like at 11. It's crazy. I have never replaced a injector control modular, and I've never looked into that, so I couldn't tell you how that works. I couldn't tell you how that works. I don't know. I'm sure I could figure it out. What's nice about having an office up here is my wife bought a refrigerator for over there, for her and our secretary, and I got it filled up with all my shit. It's nice. It's really nice. I'll bring them to you. I'm up in Dayton. Oh yeah, dude. If you could bring me some Monte Cristo whites, I'd love it. No, we're not hauling asphalt. We are shit. We are hauling a shit ton of gravel. We do have a contract for the Brent Spence Bridge that is going in here. We have a contract. Good luck with anybody that thinks that that job's going to be fucking fun. A lot of certified payroll on that, a lot of prevailing wage, um, a lot of insurance requirements. Like this is to get on that Brent Spence Bridge project. It's not like they call you up on a Monday and you start working on a Tuesday. You would have to put in, and then in about 6 months they might call you. Then you have to go through their approval process. And then what they do is they give you 1 day of work. They give you 1 day of on-site work to see if you can learn how to do certified payroll. And then like they've been baby stepping everybody into it. It's a pain in the ass. Like it's going to be so expensive. Like I mean, it cost me I think 18 grand just in insurance to get on the job, and we've made $3,000 so far. That's all the truck work we've done is 3 grand. And it's like, Jesus Christ. But we are hauling a lot of asphalt. We are doing a shit ton of gravel. Like we got a huge gravel contract to the bridge. We got 20,000 pounds or 20,000 tons to go down. Uh, we got 20,000 tons to go down there on phase like one. And then we have phase 2.5 and then 3.5. I mean, there's just it's ridiculous. I think the lady told me uh fucking Monday. What was it? Monday we had a like a meet no, was it Tuesday? I think Tuesday we had a meeting and she said that it's going to be they anticipate in 3 months to having 700 boots on the ground. I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you're gonna do that. I don't even know 700 people. I don't know where you're finding them, but we ain't got them. Listen, I'm not a smart business guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not. What I am is observant and I'm good at talking people into stuff. That's it. Like if you saw like right now, like we're so far in debt, it's hard to get out. Like every week I'm paying off and then I'm paying stuff just to keep it afloat. I mean, we're not getting ahead and it's frustrating me and that's bringing on the stuff. Like we keep adding more trucks and I keep making more and more money, but we just can't get caught up because we don't have enough people. So I'm hoping by the beginning of August we have all the people and all the trucks here, and then we got August, September, October, November, and beginning of December to get I gotta figure out how to get 400 grand saved up for the winter. I don't know how to do it. Yeah, there's no way I could afford an asphalt plant or purchasing a gravel pit, but that would be 20 or 30 or maybe $50 million. I have no idea how to do that. Um, it would be a great idea, but I have no idea how to do that. I like doing what we're doing. I wish I could get more of my own work. Uh, I mean, I got people calling me every day. The problem is that all my stuff is already kind of booked up. I mean, two companies are taking 6 trucks each. Another company is taking five. Another company is taking two a day. I mean, it's a lot. It's not easy. If that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you understand what I'm saying, like we got shit going everywhere. We're working 8, 9, it's a lot. No, that's not my hiring process. This is what the people do working on this bridge. Like I didn't understand. Like they told me in the very beginning, they wanted people with you had to own more than 20 trucks before they were going to fuck with you, before you were going to be on the first phase of the trucking thing. And I didn't understand why they kept saying that. Well, after I've been going through the process, I know exactly why they're doing it because they anticipate that they're going to need 100 trucks at the busiest time. They only want to call 6 people. So they're trying to get 6 good high qualified companies that go down there and that's all that they're going to deal with. They don't want a lot of other people. You can't even broker trucks on there. So like they sent out a thing that says you cannot broker any trucks. They all have to be owned by you. I was like, wow, that's fucking crazy because there's like you can't with the prevailing wage, how this is working, you can't broker trucks down there because you have to pay them prevailing wage, and it's just like it gets really you can't have any 1099 employees on this job. You can't if your employees are 1099, they can't work there. It's like it's crazy. I was like, this is just unbelievable. So I was like, I've never dealt with all this stuff, and it's been a process. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been working on this since February, and they finally started using us in the beginning of July. And then the job was supposed to start May 18th, and it just started last week. Like hauling all the gravel in just started last week. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. No, I've never tried those type of cigars. Patreon 1964. I've never tried those. I don't know what those are. Well, a temp service, you can't find drivers because they got to have CDLs. Does that make any sense? You can't just go to a temp service and hire drivers again because they have to be paid through you. It's kind of a pain in the ass. We'll see how it goes. Now this is frozen. Great. A lot of work, though. A lot of work. Lot of work. And I just sit down here and really like people don't understand, man. My day is so frustrating. Like I get here in the morning and then get everybody I got to get night shift dispatched. I got to figure out who didn't log properly the day before and spend all this time fixing all this shit, chasing everything down. It's a pain in the ass. A pain in my fucking ass. You know. Other than that, that's pretty much what we got going on here at the July 4th weekend. Like the one thing we got is that it's just such a no, there's no drag racing coming up for me. Uh, at least not that I know of. I would like to race a little bit more. I mean, I went and helped Jack Wyatt in Columbus for the first Columbus race, but then he didn't call me back for the second Columbus race. So I don't know what happened there. And then I you know. And then the IHRA just canceled a bunch of races. So, I don't know. I really don't have time to do the drag racing because I got to get back here and fix trucks on Sunday. If I didn't have to, if I could have somebody that could come and help my mechanic on the weekend, that would be a lot better. The problem I have is I can't get, I don't want to leave my mechanic here, the guy that does help me. I don't want to be gone all the time when me and him kind of do a divide and conquer thing. Like he's really good at hard parts changing and like that type of stuff. And I am really good at fixing all the electrical. So, you know, I fix all the electrical stuff, you know, I do all that type of things. And then uh he kind of does the hard parts, like putting brakes on and all that type of shit. The general contractor is a joint venture. You can look it up. It's all over the internet. You know, but I will tell you, Ron, the drag racing is, what can I say? The drag racing is a good stress relief for me because I really like working on the cars. Um, I mean, obviously, I think I could do a lot more than what people always, give me credit for. I think I could, how would I say this? I think I could tune a car or help tune a car pretty good. Like, I feel like I would be better used in a different position instead of like doing the bottom end or taking the clutch in and out. I'm a pretty smart guy and I'm pretty good at like reading the track conditions and I understand how it kind of works. But people they say, well, you haven't done it. Well, like that's because nobody will ever give you an opportunity to do it. Like, you know, I look at it like this. This business is one of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life. Like running a trucking company is fucking hard. And if anybody tells you running a trucking company is easy, they're on drugs. This is the hardest thing in the world. Like going out there and deciding what kind of timing you think you can get away with, how fast to run the clutch, how fast to, what I'm saying, like how aggressive you think you could be. What I'm saying? My gut's pretty good. Like when I watch it on TV, like before the session starts, like I look at the track and I watch a car run and I can pretty much tell you within one or two hundredths what the fastest guy will run. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty fucking good at it. Like my buddy, he tunes the Sean Langdon car and I write him all the time. And I'm like, man, I think you can run this. And it'll be before the session starts. I just send him a text message and say, I think this is the window. And I've only missed it twice. You know, he just writes me back and goes, Big Dad. He goes, you're not even here. And I said, I know. I said, that's what I think this is the number. I wish I was rich too, because I could do it myself. And then I would just stomp these motherfuckers' dicks out. You know what I'm saying? Like I would buy the best parts. I would get the best people. I don't even really need the best people. I just want 10 people to do it. You know what I'm saying? Halfway. I mean, dude, I think I would just stomp their dick out. No, there is no leaf spring issue for the Western Stars. No, there's not been an update. It fucking sucks. I still have some Western Stars here, but I will not be buying anymore. Matter of fact, I don't know if I'm going to buy any more trucks. I feel like 33 is enough. Um, I do want to get some before they change the regulations for next year, but my wife said she would divorce me if I order any more trucks. She said she would divorce me. So we'll see. We have a data center job here. I just can't get any trucks over there because I don't have enough trucks or people. Hey, you got in the basement? I don't know what that means. Believe me, when that dispatcher needs trucks and the superintendents are screaming at him, he will reach deep into his bag of tricks and make more than 5 calls to get 20 trucks. They'll only call, you're right, they're only going to call 2 or 3 people. They're not going to call a lot of people. Just telling you. You know, like my wife's birthday was yesterday. Brittany, she's 44. I called her my old lady now. She got pissed at me yesterday, but you know, it's funny. She just said, "Fuck you." That's how I know she still loves me when she tells me to fuck off. I mean, I don't really think she would divorce me if I ordered new trucks. I think I would be in the doghouse, to be honest with you. I really haven't decided what I'm gonna do. Yeah, my buddy from Columbus every once in a while calls me and says they're busy up there. I mean, we're busy down here. I don't have time to go up there. What was I gonna say? I don't have time to go up there to work. We have enough work here. I'm not gonna drive 2 hours, you know? I just wanna work trucks in the winter. That's what hurt us. You know, the one gravel company, we were working like 4 trucks for the last 3 winters with them, and, last year, they cut us down to 1, and man, that hurt us so bad. That took 200 grand out of the fucking bottom line. That fucking sucked. That took 200 grand out of the bottom line when you need it the most. Like, I don't know what we're gonna do this winter. I ain't figured it out. Hoping this bridge gets going. Why is it so hard to find drivers? I have a theory, okay? Why it's so hard is that first of all, when they go to trucking schools, the trucking schools lie to them right from the rip. Okay, so they tell them that you're gonna go out there and you're gonna make all this fucking money being a truck driver. Like you should make $3,000 a week, and it just puts this false thing into it about how to make that much money. Okay, so then when they come to drive a dump truck and they make half that, they don't understand it. Also, to be in the drive a dump truck and be in the construction business, okay, you're going to get up early and you're going to work late sometimes. And you're going to work Saturdays and you're going to have to be flexible. And you have to understand, you know, what the whole thing. I think the problem is the people just don't want to put in the effort to figure out how to do it very good. And also, I feel as a society, we are pretty stupid in that some people just have zero like self-awareness skills or they just have a hard time grasping what they're doing. That's what I feel is the problem, you know. And then people, you know, also a lot of people want their job to be Burger King. Okay. What I mean by that is they want to have it their way. When you hold United States citizens accountable for their actions, okay, people just quit. Alrighty, they don't know how to dig down deep and quit. That's why, you know, we have so many repos. That's why houses have got so expensive and all that stuff because the qualified buyers, you have to have so much money to be a qualified buyer. You know what I'm saying? Like And people don't have that amount of they don't have the work ethic that people used to have even 10, let's just say 10 years ago. It's just not the same. As Americans, people in the workforce feel entitled. They feel like they should be making the same money that we make as the owner. What they don't realize is that they make more money than we do. Uh, they just don't understand all the things that come along with it. And people have such terrible credit that they don't understand what that's like. People don't, I mean, they just don't really understand the grasp of whatever. And when you hold them accountable for their actions, the first thing is people just quit and go somewhere else. And also in the dump truck business, there's a lot of cutthroat people out there. Okay. And what I mean by that is that you have some truck owners that still drive a truck. Okay. And they maybe have 8 to 10 trucks. Well, the reason that they drive a truck is what they do is they just go out there and they just badmouth other owners. Like, "Oh, you don't wanna work for that guy, he's a fucking asshole." No, I'm an asshole because I hold you accountable for your dumbass bullshit, okay? And, they just steal the drivers, they lie to them. You know what I'm saying? It's just they're trying to get their seats filled too. So, still a lot of guys, instead of investing the time and energy into, hiring people, developing a workforce, all that type of stuff, some people just aren't cut out to do that. And, that's what I do here. You know what I'm saying? I'm known as a guy that'll give people opportunity because we need more people to drive trucks. Okay. And this is a good living. If you know what I'm saying? Like I got a guy, he made 100 grand last year driving a dump truck. Okay. But he also is the guy that's here early and he's the last one in every day. And he hauls tonnage every day. And he's got good at it. You know what I'm saying? But he makes the most here. He doesn't bitch when we have to work on Saturdays. He doesn't bitch. He puts in the same amount of effort on Saturday that he does Monday through Friday, you know? And other people just aren't willing to do that. And that's the problem you have. And it's just like that. You get them here, you train them, and then they think that they know more than you, and then they just want to go somewhere else. They want to go to a guy that just makes it easy for them or lets them be lazy. It doesn't under I don't understand it. Like people bitch here because I make them work Saturdays, and I've seen this several times. And like the people, like I'll be like, "Hey man, learn how to wash your truck here." You know what I'm saying? Oh no, I ain't fucking with that. Okay. Hey, keep your truck clean on the inside. No, I ain't fucking with that. Okay. You know, and then they quit here because I make them work Saturdays, or they refuse to work Saturdays for me. But then they go get another dump trucking job. And guess what? My guys are like, hey, man, that person's out there working Saturday. And then, you know what I'm saying? I see them down the street at the guy that's known for stealing all the drivers. They're down there washing their trucks. They come in on Sunday morning. I see them every time. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, so why would you do it for that guy, but you wouldn't do it for me? I don't understand the disconnect there. You know, is it because I was the one that, gave you an opportunity? And yes, I will motherfuck you when you're lazy. You know what I'm saying? And other people just, you know, other people just, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they go there and they already know the routine now, like, oh my God, we're gonna have to work Saturdays, and this guy doesn't give them an option. I don't know why they do it other places but won't do it here. I haven't figured it out. You know, so it's just I don't know. Is it, is it could be that, my personality is a little bit difficult to deal with, like I always look back, is it me or them? I don't know what it is. Yes, we pay more on Saturday. We're hauling percentage and you get paid 2% more to work Saturday. So it's like getting an overtime rate. But, people don't understand that. I just don't understand why they do it at some places and they won't do it here. I don't get it. Well, that's what happens, you know, and it's frustrating. And then I get more and more you know what I'm saying? I get more and more resentful than and then that makes it worse for the next people because I already know that I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand it. So when they lie to me or come up with some bullshit, I it's just not it's not what I want, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. So I'm assuming it's not me, it's them. I don't know. But that's the way that I feel. I watch it all the time. I mean, driving a dump truck is not boring. There's there's a lot of shit that goes on during the day, you know. Yeah, Chad, I wouldn't say that I'm blunt. A lot of people say that I'm direct. Okay. I won't hide I won't hide my emotions or whatever. To me, how do I say this? I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Okay? I am I am kind of I don't know. I just, I'll say something, but I'll say it in a way that it makes you think to get the answer, and a lot of people just can't really do that, you know, and all that stuff. Yeah, I will, you know what I'm saying? I am I just tell people the truth of how it's gonna be, and I think maybe sometimes I'm too honest, maybe. That is true, Brian Van Dipshit. You are directly stupid. That is true. Damn. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's just what in the 11 years of running this, that is the thing that I have found to be how would I say this? That's how I've found it to be, what it is, you know. And I give people a lot of opportunity. I just think that they think that it's, I don't bend over. I don't. I'm not a guy that's like just fucking figure it out, man. That is the draining part of it, And see, like I would probably be nicer. I'm nicer to the people that have worked here 6 and 8 years. I don't really say too much to them. I don't really have to say too much. I don't have to give them much direction. Um, what I'm trying to say is that if people would stay around, and they learn more, they would find that it would become a lot easier to work here. Does that make any sense? But a lot of people aren't willing to put in that much effort or whatever to get to that point. They just want you to, you know, handhold them the whole time. And it's like, and another thing that pisses me off is people want to count my money, or they want to put me in the same, like as the same class, not really class. How would I say? They think that we're equals, and we're not equals. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody in the world taught me how to do what I'm doing. Okay. I've kind of figured it out on my own. Does that make any sense? And I expect other people to figure it out. Like use your eyes, pay attention, and a lot of this stuff will jump out to you, you know. But a lot of people don't do it that way, and it's very frustrating. Yeah, I understand that. And like I've explained it to them, like if you guys would destroy less stuff, I could afford to pay you more money. But you don't you want all the money. And I made a huge mistake this year is like some of the veteran people said that they think I need to pay more money to get better drivers. Okay. So I said, okay. And I paid more money right from the beginning, and it's done nothing but bite me in the ass the entire time. So it's like, maybe that isn't it. That's what I've learned because I feel like I've extended the olive branch per se, but anytime that I extend the olive branch, I get shit on more and more. Does that make any sense? Like a lot of these people aren't used to having extra money. Okay. So, like, if you would show up there's 24 working days in a month, 5 days a week plus 4 Saturdays. That's 24 days. Okay. If you would work just those 24 days for 3 months in a row, you would get out of the poverty situation that you're in. But a lot of people can't look that far ahead to understand that they would get better. You know, I remember I had a guy last year told me that he's a better truck driver than me because, you know, he could drive anything. And I said, really? And he goes, I've had my CDL longer than you. And I just went and looked at him. And I said, when did you get your CDL? He said 2013. I said, 2013? I already had mine 6 years, guy. All righty. And I drove millions of dollars of equipment across country. Now, maybe I only drove 60,000 miles a year, but I still drove millions of dollars of equipment across the country. Okay. And when I first started my dump truck business, I started out with one truck and worked it into what you see now. So when you tell me that you're a better truck driver than me. Like, let's talk about you can't even park straight in the parking lot. You can't get the truck back straight in the lines. You know what I'm saying? And you're telling me that you're a better truck driver than me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I could go out there. I haven't driven full time since 2019. I would still smoke your ass, guy. Like when I showed up on the job, they would know, like, oh fuck, flip flops here. They would, they don't need to worry about what the fuck I'm doing. I wouldn't make a fucking mess. You know what I'm saying? I would pay attention to what they're doing on the job. I would be in the right spot every fucking time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just would make it you know what I'm saying? And I said, well, really, why do you think you're better than me? Is because I make this look so easy and it's a challenge for you. You think that I'm just not that good, you know, that I can back a truck from the parking lot all the way back around in one fucking shot and don't have to put it in drive and reverse 8 fucking times to back it into fucking parks. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, listen, I mean, I'm sure that that guy thinks he's better than you. Why do they call me flip flop? Because I wear flip flops. If it's like when I used to drive a truck, if it was over like 80 or 90 degrees, I would be in flip flops because there for a long period of time, if my feet sweat or get really hot, I get like a form of trench foot. I used to get it when I was racing too, where if my feet stay really sweaty for a long period of time, my skin will just pull off my fucking foot. I mean, it's bad. So I try to keep my feet cool and dry. So I always wear flip flops, and I would just, drive in flip flops. I don't know. I can drive a vehicle. I don't need to wear shoes to drive a vehicle. I know how to, accelerate properly. I know how to brake properly. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good driver. I pay attention to the small details. It's not huge details, small details make you really good. Like here's another thing. Like people get all upset about their CBs not working. And I'm like, hey, I just told them I'm not fixing any more CBs. And then they got mad. Well, why aren't you going to fix I said, because every time I get in the truck, like every Sunday before I leave, I go around the trucks and I check all the CBs and I get them set it adjusted right. And I set them and I, get them on the right frequency. They're on the right mode. You know what I'm saying? I turn off the echo because you're not a fucking super trucker. You don't need all that shit, you know? Ah, and it's no shit. By Monday, at noon, I got 3 people bitching that their CBs don't work. And I'm like, well, why don't you just Google how your CB works? You know what I'm saying? And I don't say anything. I just refuse to fix them. And then I come in on Sunday, and before I leave, I look at all the CBs. And again, they'll be on the wrong frequency. Like some of them will be on fucking a PA instead of CB. They'll be on FM instead of AM. They'll be in a different mode. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, how any fuck? Then they got the echo on, the talk back, they got the Roger beep. You know what I'm saying? You don't need all that shit. Unbelievable. Larry, that's exactly right. Flip flops, tank tops, and fucking basketball shorts are what all the professionals wear. You know. Well, I can tell you, you may not think I'm a real trucker, but I'm a real trucker. You know what I'm saying? I can drive the truck, fix the shit, and make a lot of people look stupid. And I'm going to do it in flip flops. I'm not going to get shit dropped on my foot. I'm not going to do a lot of stupid things. I'm not going to get completely covered in dirt. I'm going to pay attention to the small details. I know where to move my body. You know what I'm saying? Like you learn all that stuff when you care about what you're doing. And that's what I do. You know, that's who I am as a person. You know, you know, like look about it. I watched the TikToks and those guys over in third world countries. They wear like fucking some kind of rug and flip flops. I don't think they have real shoes. They're out there welding. You know what I'm saying? They don't get hurt, because they learn that you're going to get burned up if you do something stupid. Yeah, well, the Cobra 29s, they fuck them up because they get them. If you push on a Cobra 29, if you push the channel changer in, it puts it on FM and then it won't work. You know, I just laugh. And like I tell Marquise, like Marquise, I'm not fixing the fucking CBs anymore. You know, I'm not doing it. You know, I don't even care. Like I just look at him like I'm done dealing with you. It's frustrating. OSHA is really a waste of time, really, to me. Like the dumbest thing I've ever seen is the hard hats you got to wear like you're bike riding so it doesn't fall off if you hit your head on something. I thought, what dumbass thought of this? Because what happened? You know what I'm saying? I thought, why in the hell do you have to wear these stupid ass fucking what I call them retarded? They look like those guys that were in school. You know what I'm saying? That would be in like rode the short bus and had the helmet on if they fell down and had the seizure. That's what kind of hard hats these people have. I don't understand why they have to have those. I'm like, like, what are we doing here? You know what I'm saying? The chin strap. What the fuck is up with that? I don't even know how these people work in 100-degree weather. You got all this bullshit on. You know what I'm saying? You be out there sweating to death. No wonder you can't get anything done. Well, you got these people all fucking in this shit. You know, and sometimes I think safety leads to lackadaisical projects that make more people get injured because they think they're protected from all this stupid shit. You know, like if you fell down and died, you know what I'm saying? People would be very careful about how they walk. Kind of what I'm thinking, but that's the way that I look at it. But I just laugh. I don't know what this I don't know what those special hard hats do. Does anybody know? Why do you have to wear the ones that what I'm saying? Looks like you're on the Tour de France. You know what I'm saying? Like, where you gonna ride a bike? The fuck you doing? Well, when you hit your head, we don't want it to fall off. Great. You know, I don't understand it. Another thing, when you are paving a road, why do you need to wear a hard hat? I haven't figured that out. What is gonna fall out of the sky when you're paving a wide open fucking place? What falls out of the sky? I don't understand it. I don't fucking get it. You know, I just sit there and think like, why in the fuck would you do all this? I don't know. I I don't know. I mean, the guys that did my roof were some Mexicans, and this motherfucker was wearing like church shoes up there. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Brian Van Dipshit, I figured you would wear a helmet through all your childhood and lick lick windows. Probably eat boogers. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I haven't worked much for Eaton this year. Nope. Haven't been over there. To answer your question, oil's at $68 a barrel. Did the fuel prices go down? No. Okay. The the oil companies are just they're not going to bring it down. Like diesel fuel at $68 a barrel, diesel fuel should be $3. Not going to do it because they got us used to paying $4 and $6, and that's what they're going to make us pay. You know, it's kind of like when you get divorced and you have to pay alimony, and your wife's lawyer comes in there talking about she is accustomed to this lifestyle. Accustomed. You know what I'm saying? I just want some guy to be like, well, I was accustomed of, you know what I'm saying, beating her guts up 3 days a week. Okay. That's why I gave her that lifestyle. Now that she doesn't want to have that lifestyle, why do I have to pay her alimony? You know what I'm saying? Do I still get to beat the guts up 3 days a week? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's weird. I know that our fuel tax here in the state of Ohio is 74 cents on diesel fuel. 74 cents. That's all it is. Right? Trump can threaten the oil companies. You know what I'm saying? He can threaten them all he wants. They're not going to change. They're not going to do it. You know, really, if you want to make things better, get rid of the stock market. Get rid of these CEOs getting bonuses on how much profitability they have at the end of the year. It'll fix itself, you know. Or what you do is you get rid of the EPA and you let them build more refineries, you know. Fixed. You know what I'm saying? Fixed. Fixed. Problem fixed. I don't think Brian has gone bankrupt yet now. You know, I saw that he posted a video about how he's the world's greatest fucking, what do you want to call that? He can tailgate gravel. Who gives a fuck about tailgating gravel? I could tailgate gravel too. I just don't want to do it. I am not throwing any tomahawks on, okay? But we do have, I will tell you this. I don't know if a lot of you guys know this, but Peter Luger's out of shit. Peter Luger's out of New York now sells their beef online. I didn't know this till this week. So I bought a bunch of Peter Luger uh steaks for two at my house, and we're gonna throw a big porterhouse on for me and Brittany tomorrow. You know? Yeah, most of all my tools are still snap on, yes. I wish I could have a talk radio show. I don't know if I'm like Rush Limbaugh good, but I feel like I could go on there and entertain people, you know. Well, thank you for being a member. I'm just gonna let you know, Ray 2B2s. I don't really have any member benefits, bud. Okay. Uh, I'd love to. Just to be honest with you, I don't have enough time in the motherfucking day to fuck with YouTube. Okay. I mean, I used to do a live stream kind of every week. I don't have time for that anymore. It's been once a month. I realize that some of the people that have been here really you know, like to hear me bullshit for 2 hours. I'm just sorry I don't have that kind of patience, you know. Oh, well, we I, I'm not we need to educate our children, okay? Uh I'm all for school levies when they go to the right things. The problem is that they don't go for the right things. Um I think that we should focus more on not Ohio Board of Education fucking, how would I say this? Not of Ohio Board of Education test taking, and more on real world practical application of learning. Okay. That means you should probably bring back shop class, maybe some home economics. Maybe we should teach people, how to balance a checkbook. More teach people life skills, how to work. You know, see I figured out why we have a labor problem in this country, and it really starts from when your kid starts going to kindergarten. Okay, because in the 9 months in school, they don't go to school a full 20 days uh in any of those months. Okay, they always get 1 day off a month for like some teacher in service. They got some parent teacher conference bullshit. They got fall break. They got Thanksgiving. They got Christmas break. They got fucking President's Day. They got this bullshit. Well, it teaches people not you're not educating them on working 24 fucking days. Plain and simple. Okay. And when you do that, alrighty, you're not making good long-term workers. And what made this country great is we were good workers. You got to be good workers. Okay. And we just don't have that because we don't educate people to be there every day. When you get sick, these pussy ass Karens, oh my God, my kid's sick. He doesn't go to school for 5 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. So then he learns that when he gets a job, like, oh, I'm sick, I can't come in. Okay. I've always said this, if I was sick and we can't get your payroll in for you to get paid on Friday or Monday, okay, uh, do I have that right to be sick and just not do my responsibilities? And everybody's answer is no, I got to get paid. Well, why don't you have to do your responsibilities and show up here 5 days a week? At least. So why is it okay for you, but not okay for me? If you could explain that disconnect, where we're disconnected here on understanding how this is all supposed to work, okay? If you could figure that out, we will be, you know, it'll be a lot better. See, because if the shoe was on the other foot, okay, you wouldn't get a sick day. You may not understand that, but that's really what's going to happen. You know, plain and simple. A lot of people don't understand that. I understand that because I've been on both sides. I've signed the front of the checks, I've signed the back of the checks. I understand how both processes work. Okay. I don't think you should be a politician until you've owned a business and signed the front or the back of the checks because it gives you a great perspective on how everything works. The lady still works here that used to do my dispatching. She does not do the dispatching anymore. It was just too much for her. She wanted to, it's too much, you know. I mean, she's a great truck driver. She understands how to dispatch. I've taught her. She could go to any other trucking company and they would think that she's probably the best driver they got because she would understand how the dispatching works. She would understand a lot of different stuff. Okay. But a lot of people, she doesn't that. Marquise, the guy that's kind of like the driver supervisor, he's starting to understand all the nuances and all this stuff. I don't know if he's ready to dispatch yet. That takes a lot of critical thinking. Marquise is doing great. Marquise is by far one of the best employees that I've ever hired. I would say I have out of the 27 that I've got 12 that I could trust. I hired this guy this year named Dominic. He is legit, dude. We hired a guy named Ivan. He worked here last year, then left, and then came back. Awesome. There's a girl named Bianca that works here that she left and came back. She does a outstanding job. Like you know what I'm saying? Her truck is clean. She takes it to the truck wash. She doesn't like a dirty truck. She does great. Now, this girl didn't have nobody would give her an opportunity to drive a dump truck and make a living. I did. She pays it back. She has made some mistakes. Okay. We have worked through those mistakes. She's never made the same mistake twice. You know, uh, let's see who else. There's a guy named Benson. I gave an opportunity to that nobody else would. He's a great driver. He will come in and work. You know, he works night shift and then he comes in. He works night shift, then works Saturday. Malachi is, I don't know if you think he's a good driver. Malachi is a young kid. Okay. I'll tell you the problem with Malachi is that he's kind of lazy. All righty. And he just doesn't know when to keep his mouth shut. All righty. And Malachi is a kid. So like when things don't go his way or you don't respond to him, he doesn't really work that hard. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And if something's wrong, he won't put out the effort to try to figure it out. That's his problem. He likes to cry a lot. You know, I would say he's one of the biggest babies we got. Other than that, I mean, I fired him 3 times, you know. The last time that I fired him, he knew, you know, I just told him like he brought the truck, he brought the truck back because, you know, I caught him sleeping on the side of the road and I posted it in our group. I was like, man, the struggle is real out here. Yeah, I fired him 3 times. The last time and that's because see, like he likes to, he likes to run his mouth, but then when you give it right back to him with all the little sarcastic shit that he does, he shuts down like a baby. His first thing with shit is to quit. So, I know that going into it, So even Marquise does the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Marquise rage baits him all the time. He hasn't figured it out. I know what it is, but I just laugh. You know what I'm saying? Been fired 3 times. You know, but like the last time I told him, he brought the truck back. I said, "Hey man, just get all your shit out of the truck. I'm done dealing with you. Get all your shit out of the goddamn truck today." He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "You came back from a job that you were making fucking great money on. Get your shit. Get the fuck out of my goddamn face." And you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, I just came up in my office. He came up in here. He's like, "Well, would you fire me if I go back to the job?" I said, "That's your choice. If you go back, no. But if I'm going to tell you right now, it's 10 o'clock. If you leave at 10 o'clock, you're not coming back tomorrow. You know, I'm not fucking with you." And it was about 3 minutes later, I heard the truck, start up and drive back out. You know, and he hasn't said 2 words to me since that. Because he knows I'm not putting up with it anymore. I'm not dealing with it. Yes, I ask him questions that I already know the answer to all the time. Yeah, just to see, who's going to lie and who's not. But I ask him all the time. Oh, I'm pretty reasonable. It's not worth all the bullshit. That's what it is. I'm just not putting up with it anymore. Like I'm going broke running all these trucks anyway. If it sits here and I don't have a driver for it and I'm already going broke, what does it matter? You know? I'm to the point that if this whole thing ends, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. It's not worth all the shit. I'm not dealing with people's attitudes anymore. Not doing it. Uh, I am very motivated to be successful. I would say I have what you would call a chip on your shoulder, chip on my shoulder. I want to be successful. I'm driven. Um, I don't take no for an answer. There's always a workaround. There's always, what could we do to get better? You know, I don't take all that shit. You know, I don't deal with it. I don't deal with it. Like I came in and washed some trucks today because like I wanted them to look good. And there is, nobody else will do that. No, the guys from the unhirables, man, we don't go to lunch anymore. That kind of thing just kind of died out. The one guy, uh, his wife wouldn't let him come because they drank all day. The other guy, uh, the other guy, uh, he had a drinking problem, so his wife won't let him go to lunch. He had to go to counseling. And then the other guy, I think he's just too busy. And then, I don't have enough time to go, but I don't drink all the time. I don't drink at all. So, I can go to lunch and eat a cheeseburger and a Mountain Dew and then come back to work. Those guys could never do that. So, it is what it is. Yeah. Yeah, Travis, I'm back working for Barrett. I went from never ever to I'm back in the same position I was before. We got 8 trucks working there a day. They want more. If I get more drivers, they'll get them. Uh, they're busy, you know. So it went from never ever to it's like I never left. I get called the same. It's all the same. You know, I learned my lesson. And I think that they realize that it's not me. And I got some good drivers over there. Like Malachi works there every day. Bianca works there every day. This guy named Calvin works there every day. Uh, I got another new guy that's working over there. He seems to fit in there pretty good. I haven't had much complaints. He's figured it out. You know, it's really about having the drivers. We had some real drivers that they were just real lazy, and I think that got it kind of bit him in the ass over there. Also, I feel like Barrett was having some they were having some problems, they were having some problems with their mix not passing, and I think they weren't making money, and then they were yelling at the foremans, and then the foremans kind of took it out on the drivers. I think it was a multitude of different things. Are you still working for HJ? I haven't worked for her at all. I know she called me when she got really busy, but I'm like, I'm not dealing with it. I'm not I'm not gonna work for somebody that takes that amount of money and then just treats you like shit. I'm not gonna do it. I'm done with that. You know, like you shouldn't hold our money 30 days and be taking fucking $22 an hour off the rip. You know what I'm saying? That's just too much. This shit costs too much to have a broker take that much. You know what I'm saying? It's not transparent. Not into it. Well, when you own the company, you can drink as much alcohol you want and go back to work as when you own it. Okay. All right. Now you can't do that as an employee, but if you own the company, I guess you can do whatever you want. I don't drink. I don't feel the need to drink alcohol. I think that alcohol leads to Alzheimer's. I don't I don't want that. Um, Alcohol makes it to where you get sick easy. You're not motivated. It's kind of like a depressant. I'm not an alcohol drinker. If that makes any sense. That's just my opinion. If people drink alcohol, have a great fucking time. I'm just not into that. I haven't drank in 11 years and I'm totally fine with it. Yeah. I mean, you can't have guys sitting that long, you know, you know, I'm not into it. There's a lot of other places out here to work. But I mean, you know, like I would say, out of the what 28 there, I think we got 30 drivers right now. The last couple months we've hired a couple good ones. And then, the ones that are shitty, they kind of weed themselves out. And then we just have to hire them. Like my girl Gina, our secretary, she's hired so many people. She's caught on to the bullshit. Like she even says things now like, "Oh, this doesn't seem right." I'm like, "Yeah, it's probably not right." You know, because she catches them in so many different lies and all that shit. And we still have the problem that people say they want to work here and then, they don't show up. It's just a lot of, you know, it's like that everywhere. A lot of people don't follow through on what they say they're going to do. And that's just life. And then the more that you look about it, is it me or is it them? I used to think that it was me. And then, you know, we I had Adrian hiring. They did the same thing to her. My wife tried hiring. They did the same thing to her. What was I gonna say? They did they do the same thing to Gina. So yeah, Travis, the Journey place is a good place to work. They pay really good money, and it's easy work, and they got a lot of work. And their dispatcher is really fair. Like, you know what I'm saying? How they dispatch is fucking easy. If they got winter work, that's the place I go. You're gonna get paid fuck a lot more money. A lot. It's a lot fairer how they do it. And you get paid in 14 days, not 30. And the guy is really fair. That guy asked me for trucks. I just don't. I mean, I worked for him for a couple days. I worked for him when we got open slots, but we don't have anything open right now. And I told him, "Hey, sorry, man. Like Monday, I think I got 6 drivers off. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do, but I got 6 off." I was like, Jesus Christ. We were on a short week. Now the next week's gonna be short. And then they'll bitch when I make them work Saturday. Oh, why we gotta work Saturday? Well, none of you could get here 5 days a week, boys. So until we can get here 5 days a week, we're going to be here on Saturday. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to get paid more money, go work for that guy. Nothing against anybody else, but they're fair. It's very easy. You know, I haven't, like I haven't been called and said my drivers are shitty. They're what was I gonna say? They're on the wrong job. They're they're not going fast enough. They stopped and peed more than twice. I haven't heard none of that shit. And it's unbelievable. It's amazing. Thank you. I like watches, you know. I actually my friend asked me about my Daytona. He's like, "Hey, you still got that thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, it sits in my watch box. I don't wear it that much. I probably should, but I end up wearing this one every day and uh I don't know. I should wear it more than what I do. I don't know if I'm a blue collar Richard Simmons. I'm not gay. I do like boobies and vaginas, or downstairs, of a chick. I like vagina. I like pussy, and I like boobs. I feel like boobs are men's stress balls. Right. Actually, my wife says my hair is thinning. I don't know if that's true or not, but I have felt that with my longer hair, I do like it a little bit better. But what I can say is I have got the top of my head burnt, so maybe it is thinning a little bit, but whatever. We'll rock it till I guess I got none. Yeah, I don't know why you called me Richard Simmons, but I'm definitely not gay. Okay. You know, I like pussy. I like chicks. You know, you know, I've been with my wife for 22 years. So half of her life she is laid in the bed next to me. And that's crazy to think. But I don't look at it like that, but we were talking about it yesterday because it's her birthday. I'm like, man, we started dating right before she turned 22. It was like a couple weeks before, and or maybe like a couple days before she turned 22. And I've been with her for 20 fucking 2 years. Unbelievable. Long time. And I'm 45, so she's been with me almost half my life, which is crazy to think, but that's true. It's kind of weird, but that's what we got. I'm like, man, Brittany, getting old. We're getting old. We're gonna die together, I guess. You know, I don't know what more to do. Anyway, I'm gonna get ready and get off here. I'll probably go to 3:30. Then I'm gonna get home, and I wash so many trucks. My fucking pants are my underwear is soaked. I should bring another pair down, you know. Tomorrow I want to wash some shit. Try to get the trucks cleaned up and ready for the week because the truck washing guy's not coming. But I want to get some of these things fucking clean because they're a mess. They're disgusting. I don't know how you can drive through a gravel plant and just get all the shit on you. I haven't figured that out. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you know. And I thought maybe if you made the drivers wash their trucks, they'd be a little bit more careful with them. It's wrong. It doesn't seem to go like that. At least not in my perspective, but you know, what do I know? Because I figured, a good truck keeps the DOT away from you. A good clean truck, they're like, man, that guy gives a shit. And also, like, washing the truck is a pride thing, but it teaches you to look at stuff that you're not looking. I mean, it's hard to know if something's broken when it's covered in ooze, you know? It just makes it a lot easier. And then you don't get dirty touching it. That's another thing on me. Like a driver came down today to wash his truck, but I already washed it. So I had him help me with the other one that I was watching, and I taught him how to do it. Like, hey, this is how you want to do it. It makes it a lot better. It'll make it look a lot better. And then it won't be so disgusting. And you know, you take care of the truck, it won't break down on you. It's my opinion. But what do I know? You know, I just invested, $8 million in dump trucks, and I feel like my investment is not as good as it, should be. You know, the return on investment is not great. Well, if I ever had enough money to build a new shop, I definitely would, what would I say this? I definitely would have a drive-through truck washing area. That is, yes, I would. Um, you know, I definitely would install that. I would definitely would have that. Right now, I don't have a spot that would be big enough to have a drive-through truck wash. We have to wash them outside. It is what it is. That is true. A lot of drivers do drive with the AC all the way on and the windows down. And we just get all the dust in the cab and then we don't ever clean out the cab. I'm like, I don't know how we get the cabs this dirty when, we really should, because I ride around with the windows up and I know how to change the cabin air filters. You know what I'm saying? Like I do a bunch of that just to make sure that it looks really nice and all that stuff. Because it's important to have a a fresh cabin air filter. It it does, Travis. They do find the biggest shitholes to drive through after they've been washed. I don't understand how we do it. I'm like, I don't get it. You know, and like I told the guy today, I'm like, hey man, if you would just come in once a week and just spray the thing off, the dirt wouldn't get baked on the fucking cab this bad or on the side of the bed. Like they would look a lot better. Like we had a couple trucks that the front axles leak. So they just got all this shit all over them. So I wanted to get all that off. And I worked on it. I did it. Like the aluminum beds, if they would just spray like the little stuff that I got, you know, it would be the aluminum would look nicer, but we don't do that. So, it is what it is. Rocket, Walter White once it falls out. Mm, don't know. But yeah, I wish that people would take care of the shit a little bit better. I mean, I have some really nice shit. And I realize that probably today is not a great day to be out washing trucks. It's 108 fucking degrees, and it's hard to keep the chemical wet enough while you're brushing it and doing all that stuff. It really takes two people. Like if two people would come down and just help each other wash their trucks, it wouldn't take them as long. And it also makes me a lot happier that if you broke the goddamn thing and I wasn't covered in fucking just shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could fix it a lot better. Does that make any sense? Kinda is what it is. Yeah, we have a pressure washing guy to come and wash the trucks, but I think the chemical soap that he uses is not very good, and they miss a lot of spots. Like, they don't scrub the beds off. They kinda do the cabs and half-ass brush the side of the trucks, and it really takes you like, to wash a truck, to do it properly by yourself, like, to clean the frame, clean under the engine, get all the fucking grindings off the back door, you know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff takes what was I gonna say? It takes 3 hours, or it takes 2 hours to do it right, to make it to look pretty good. Um, my favorite trucks that I'd probably never sell, I don't know, I like I'm thinking about selling my quad axle Peterbilt, my 389. I'm thinking about selling that. Um, I might sell it this fall. I would really like to get rid of it, but it's a good truck and it's paid off, but it would help me get out of debt. Um, I'd like to maybe sell it. If I could get 160 out of it, it would be kind of nice. Um, I don't know. I really like this new W900 that I got. I got a couple more W9s. The T9, the T. Or the W990s, I like those. I'll keep those a while. You know, I don't know. Yeah, Ricky Bobby's old truck. I'm trying to sell it. No, it's still down there for sale. It's been for sale since March. Nobody has bought it. And you know, it's for sale. The problem is I don't have a driver for it. Oh yeah, I've got 3 trucks that are paid off. Um, Back when I first started, do I have any regrets about starting this trucking business? Not a one. Um, do I think I could have done some things better back then? Yes. Um, would I probably would have invested a little bit more earlier into getting a better process for having more people, for having some more people around me. Would I, you know, do I like how rough this is? No. Do I think that I'm probably a victim of my own creation? Yes. Um, I would say that I have a higher than average risk tolerance, and that's why it's gotten this out of control. But no. If I could find 100 drivers, 100 good drivers, I'd have 100 trucks. Um, what I, you know, the truck part I don't mind. The people I don't like. Um, I've done some consulting in the past, yes. Um, I've consulting is not going to be free. Uh, you know, I would love to set up more time to do more consulting, but I just don't have enough time in the day because when am I supposed to find that out? Like when we're consulting, you know what I'm saying? How am I supposed to do that? Anything that I could do to bring more income into the business, I would love to. I feel like I would be good at consulting. I mean, I've helped a lot of other people out. A lot of times people, you know, to really do good consulting, you have to have kind of the same vision that, you know, I see. Are you willing to, because when I talk about things, I feel like some people are like, wow, that's a lot, and then it's like, yeah, it is a lot. How big do you want to get? How high is your risk tolerance? People have to take all that in consideration when they want to be consulting. What are you trying to do? That's usually what I ask first. What do you want to do here, guy? A lot of guys don't understand how to get their finances together. They don't understand that stuff. There's a lot to do when you're trying to get big. Where do you want to, how do you want to do this and all that stuff? Yeah, I don't sugarcoat a lot of things. That is true. Like again, I'm going to go back to I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Does that make any sense? Like, and I expect people to tell me the same thing. You know, like there is some things going on in like the baseball league that my son wants to play for, and the guy that runs it's an absolute bozo. Okay, when I mean a bozo, this guy is a motherfucking bozo. And I've been the only one that has publicly called him out. And like anytime that somebody else has called him out, they've suspended them and they're not allowed to come to the games or whatever. They get suspended. And you know what? I called him out and I told him all the truth. And they haven't done anything like that because they know that you know, I golf with the guy, and they moved our golf league so I don't have to play him because I was playing him in like a couple weeks. But after I called him out on Facebook and called him a bozo in front of all of his, little coaching buddies and all this other bullshit, they magically moved our fucking schedule at golf league. But what he doesn't know is that me and Zach are in second place right now, and they're in third. And or we're in fourth and they're in third, but in the next whatever position night, we'd have to play each other. That's my goal with Zach. And so because I'm just gonna wear this motherfucker out for 2 hours. And matter of fact, he'll probably call in a sub because he knows. But they said that, these other parents are scared to say anything and get suspended. So as soon as I wrote this post and called them a bunch of dumbasses, like my Facebook thing the next morning lit up with all these other parents that are pissed off about the same thing. They just don't have the balls enough to say it because they run this league on fear, intimidation, and motherfucking bullying. And then when they realize that I'm a motherfucking that you can't, I'm bullying the bully, they don't like that. And I told them, like, are you ready to see this all the way through? And they know that I already told them. I said I got my bail money ready. So I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? If you're ready to take it to that level, I got it that level. And don't think for a minute that if you suspend me from thinking that at a public fucking place that you have no thing that you're going to tell me when and I can't come and watch my kid play fucking football, baseball, basketball, anything to do with that shit. If you think for 1 minute that I'm going to bow down to your bullshit, it ain't going to happen. You better be ready to call the police every fucking week that I have a fucking game because I'm ready. And you know what? They ain't said shit for me. They actually, on their little bullshit, they actually released a apology to the things that I said and said that they're open for criticism. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? They ain't ready to fuck with this motherfucker. And you know, just like a lot of other people had to learn the hard way, you know, that I don't back down from anything when I believe that I'm right. And I'm 100% right on this shit. And they're not. And when they're when the you know what I'm saying, it's just like anything else. When the walls start crumbling around, they don't know what to do because they don't have a good process, because they know that somebody figured out all their bullshit. Like I read between all the lines and went, holy fuck. You know what I'm saying? That ain't right. You know? And like when I called them out, like, that it's funny that other teams raise money for their teams, but you have to put it in a pool. But your team does not have to, any money that you raise is just for you. Well, that's not very fair. And that's not equal. You know what I'm saying? But then you say that you're not a part of the association. Your team is not a part of the association. Well, your team is a part of the association because I figured it out that the only reason that you are hiding behind this association is because you need their insurance policy to play in the league. Okay. And you can't go out on your own because you don't want to pay for your own insurance policy. So you're hiding behind the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's funny. They have a board, but every one of their board members is they all go camping together. And I was like, what do you guys do in your board meetings? You know what I'm saying? You don't have board meetings because you guys are all camping every weekend and you're out there blowing each other. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fucking fucked up. Youth sports parents and bozos have fucking ruined it because they don't understand both sides. And until they do, you know what I'm saying? You can't, like, when people, like, again, I don't know if you guys know who this is, but uh, Warren Johnson said this a long time ago. He was a really smart guy. And he said, you have to take a look at people that write books or that run for political office. You know what they have? Time. Okay. A lot of people that are motivated and that are smart don't have a lot of time. So like when they fucking when they become like in a volunteer position where they think they got power, you know what I'm saying? It overwhelms them and they kind of abuse it because they don't understand both sides of the game and they're not educated and they only think of themselves. And that's what you get when you get a lot of like boards and associations. It's kind of like homeowners associations. It's all a bunch of like fucking people that are out blowing each other just to make them, they want to have a title, but not really do the work to have a title. Does that make any sense? And, you know, they're like, "Well, why don't you run?" I said, "I don't have time." You know what I'm saying? Because I have important things to do. I don't have time to fucking deal with some mom calling me and saying, "Why isn't my kid playing?" Well, why your kid is not playing is because he fucking sucks. Okay. All righty. That's fucking why. Let's not sugarcoat what we got going on here. What do you I don't want to hear about that some parent in the fucking stands said 5 cuss words around your kids. I don't have the time. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your kids should not be sheltered and grow up to be giant pussies like you are. Okay? I don't have time for that. So it would not be a good thing for me to be in charge of your association because they would know not to fucking ask me some dumb shit question because they would get told in a very way that they're not, you know what I'm saying? It's not very friendly to tell them to go fuck themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, take your shit, go fuck yourself. Okay. Sometimes people need to hear that, but they're not really ready to hear that and you know what I'm saying? I'm not the motherfucker. I will tell you to go fuck yourself in a hot minute. I could care less. You know what I'm saying? I don't need people to like me to go through my life. You know what I'm saying? Like what I've learned about owning a business and getting older is that your circle of friends gets smaller and smaller and smaller each year, especially with me because I don't put up with people's bullshit. Like when I find out that you're a bullshitter, I automatically just I don't need you in my life. You know what I'm saying? I have enough problems. I don't need another motherfucker to be bullshit. Okay. And no, Zach Brotherton does not golf with me. My golf partner is Zach. He has been on my channel before. Zach is my homeboy. We are riding and dying together. Okay. Zach is my yin. He is my yang to my yin. You know, Zach is a lot more calm, little bit more political. I'm a bull in a china shop, and me and Zach get along really well because we each understand the roles that we play in our friendship. You know what I'm saying? Zach is the nice one. I'm the one that's going to drop the hammer on you. You know what I'm saying? We think a lot alike and all that stuff. So Zach is my dude. Uh, you know, I like Zach. He's one of the only persons that I've ever met on the internet that is a true friend that gives as much as he receives. Now, not talking like some gay shit. I'm just saying in a friendship, there's a give and take. You have to, you know, if somebody helps you out, you have to help them out in an equal amount of way. Does that make any sense? That's how I kind of live my life. You know what I'm saying? Like my circle of friends is only probably 3 or 4 because other people call me and then you know what I'm saying? Like they call me with a problem, and then I tell them like, "Well, did you? Yeah, you're the problem." You know what I'm saying? No, some people don't like that, but it is. You'll find that out as you get older. That your circle of when you're 20, you have like 100 friends, right? When you're 30, you have 50. When you're 40 and you own a business and you don't have time to go out and shoot the shit with everybody, and you know what I'm saying? You're abrasive like me. I know I'm abrasive. You know what I'm saying? Like when people talk stupid, I'll tell them, it's kind of fucking dumb, you know? And when they make mistakes and you tell them that they made a mistake, they don't like when you point that out. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that. So it doesn't really make a difference. Like I know that Gina, she is big in the community and all the people know that Gina works for me. and they called Gina and bitched about what I said, and she said, "Well, here's the thing that you're going to have to learn about Justin. Okay, Justin is not here to appease anybody. Okay, he's going to tell you how it is." Or how he thinks it is in his opinion, and he doesn't give a shit if you like him or not. Okay, he just doesn't care. Like, and they were just like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, "Well, he's not. You don't understand. Justin is a really nice guy once you get to know him, but once you give him enough bullshit, he is not gonna hold hold you back. Okay, he's not gonna tell you that. You know what I'm saying? So he just doesn't. He doesn't. Like if Justin walks into a place and you're all over there talking shit about him, Justin doesn't give a fuck because Justin knows that you're all fuckheads and he doesn't really care. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't. I don't live my life through. I need validation of other people liking me. You know what I'm saying? I don't really. I don't really need that. I've been. In my life, I'm very consistent. What you would consider an asshole. Okay, and it's not that you know what I'm saying is I'm not like two-faced. You know what I'm saying? If I don't like you, I'll tell you to get fucked right to your face. I won't tell a third party person that I don't like you. And then when I see you, I'm going to be nice. That's not how I live my life. Okay. If I don't like you, you're going to fucking know it very quickly. Like, okay, you're a bozo. I need you to go over there. Okay. And I don't, what I'm saying? Like, once I determine that you're a bozo, you go in the bozo category and you're there for life. There's no coming back. You're in the bozo category, you know, and people don't like that. A lot of people are fake and they hide behind this thing that everybody needs to be loved. And I go through life not that way. You know, that's how that's how I go through my life. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm pretty okay with that. And I'm secure in myself that, I really don't care about other people's opinion. You know, just go through life. I like the urinal in the bathroom. If anybody has an opportunity to get a urinal in your house, you should get one. Telling you, it's well worth it. But you know, that's how I live my life. Just really no fucks given. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Yeah, this is my new office. It's upstairs of the shop. My friend Derek redid it this winter. We painted it. It kind of gives a nice, more open feel. It's not in the dungeon anymore. We have what you call sunlight, which is very nice. You feel less depressed. That that you can look out and see if it's raining, see if it's windy. I can see a bird fly by. It's a lot different. I like it. We have more space to conduct business. Probably a long time. We needed this a long time ago, if that makes any sense. But that's just what we're doing. You know, I'm, you know, it is what it is. I like my new office. I really appreciate it. I should have invested the money a long time ago. Other than that, it is what it is. But that is right. Off road, I keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and I don't need validation from anybody to tell me that I'm not an asshole. I already know this. And I usually tell people that, like, if you, like, I told this lady on she was going back and forth, and I said, listen, you may think I'm an asshole. I already know that. I'm just going to tell you the line of people that want to call me an asshole is really long. So I hope that you have a lot of patience and can sit there till you come up and tell me I'm an asshole. I already know this. Because think about it, 1,000 people before you, okay, told me I was an asshole. I'm pretty much okay. Now, it's blue and it's like this gold color. I like it. And then everything else is a gray, but I like it. It kind of gives me a little bit of color. I feel good about myself. I like it. You know, it is what it is. But anyway, Like always, I gotta get the fuck out of here. I would like to go home and eat some dinner. Thinking about cooking a steak. You know what I'm saying? I got a big prime 25-ounce New York strip there. Thinking about eating that tonight with a little butter, with a little clarified butter. You know what I'm saying? To dip it in. I like to dip my steaks in a little clarified butter. I don't know why. I just like it. You know. And I did find out that somebody wanted me to, you know what I'm saying? They said they wanted their steak well done. And I just looked at him and said, "You're never going to get that in this household." Okay. Because if you come over to my house, it's going to be kind of in between rare and mid rare. That's what you're going to get. What frame do I expect on my Peterbilt? I just get the heavy single. Uh, unless it's a 7-axle, then you have to get a double frame. But if it's just a 6-axle, I just get the heavy single. You know, they seem to be okay. Uh, we haven't had a problem. That's what my Kenworths are too. They're heavy singles. The Western Stars were heavy singles, or what they call the tall rail. Instead of 10.5, it's 12-inch. I guess they call it a heavy single. That's what I get. But anyway, like always, guys, thanks for watching. I gotta fucking go. Uh, it's a little bit late. Now that I'm not sweating outside, I gotta take a little bit of a pee because I've drank 2 Mountain Dews, uh, and like 4 or 5 Arnold Palmers, and it's starting to catch up to me, which is good. I'm trying to get my pee clean, but I have a feeling it's still gonna be a little bit yellow. But anyway, like always, guys, I'll try to get on here again. I don't know when it's gonna be. I'm a very busy man. Uh, if I could figure out how to clone myself, it would be awesome. But I don't know what else to do. But anyway, I got